The Kuki people, a journey from Israel to India. Welcome to this documentary about the Kuki people, a community with a history stretching back millennia. From their claimed origins as one of the lost tribes of Israel to their present struggles in India and Myanmar, the Kuki people have a story of migration, conflict, and identity. Movement through Central Asia, China, and finally into the hilly regions of northeast India and Myanmar. The migration of the Kuki people, or at least a group of people now known as the Menashe, is believed to have begun after their exile from Israel. According to their tradition, they moved eastward, passing through regions such as Persia, Central Asia, and finally into China. Over time, they made their way into Southeast Asia, with many settling in the hills of present-day Manipur, Mizoram, and Myanmar. For centuries, the Kuki people lived a semi-nomadic life. Moving across the hilly regions, they practiced slash-and-burn agriculture, known as jum, and established settlements where they could. Although many Kukis have since become more settled, their historical nomadic lifestyle influenced their culture and relationship with the land. Various Kuki insurgent groups have emerged over the years, fighting for autonomy or independence. Some of the key groups include the Kuki National Organization, the Kuki National Army, and the Kuki Revolutionary Army. These groups have been involved in armed struggles against both the Indian and Myanmar governments. The relationship between the Kuki and Meitei people has been shaped by centuries of coexistence, but it has not been without conflict. The roots of tension between these two communities can be traced back to colonial and post-colonial times, when issues of land, resources, and political autonomy started to surface. Manipur, where both the Meitei and Kuki people reside, is geographically divided into two key regions: the Central Valley, dominated by the Meiteis, and the surrounding hills, home to various tribal groups, including the Kukis. Historically, the Meiteis were the dominant political and cultural force in the region, while the Kukis and other hill tribes maintained a degree of autonomy in their territories. In response, the Kukis, who felt marginalized and threatened by these moves, began to assert their demands for greater autonomy. The Kuki people organized their own militias, such as the Kuki National Army and the Kuki Defense Force, to protect their territory and counter the Naga insurgents. In India, groups like the Kuki National Organization, Kuki National Army, and Kuki Revolutionary Army have been involved in armed insurgencies, demanding greater autonomy and protection for Kuki lands. While both communities have shared the same geographic region for centuries, their relations have been marked by competition for control over resources and influence in the region. The story of the Kuki people is one of resilience in the face of adversity. Their struggle for identity, land, and autonomy has pitted them against multiple communities, including the Métis. We've journeyed through the complex history of the Kuki people, from their possible origins as one of the lost tribes of Israel to their migration across Central Asia and their struggles for survival in Northeast India and Myanmar. The Kukis' resilience in the face of conflict and their quest for autonomy continues to shape their future.